Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. This is episode 277, day 277 as well, of the challenge of me running 365 days in a row, all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I've also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame. And I've also challenged myself to run two big races within this time frame. One of those races already being finished, and that being a 50K trail race, a 31-mile race that I was able to finish within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. Now the next race coming up is actually within 13 days. We also have one in 12 days that is part of the one in 13 days, and that is the Detroit Free Press Marathon. And I'll be doing the Motor City Challenge within that marathon, which entails me running the competitive 1 mile and the competitive 5K the day before actually running the marathon. So really looking forward to that race as well, and trying to keep the streak alive. So like I said, we are on day 277 of running total. For the day today, since we are kind of less than 2 weeks out, I'm kind of starting the taper. Nothing crazy, but since I'm running every day, just kind of slowing the miles down. Today and from here forward, I don't think I'll be running anything more than a 5K. So for the day today, day 277, well, I guess a little bit more than a 5K. I take that back. I have a route that is 3.5 miles. That is what I'll be doing for the rest of the week. Probably just that route of 3.5 miles. Nothing crazy. So every day I plan on doing that, but for today I did 3.5 miles, which put me at 3.5 miles for the week. Since it is a Monday, that put me at 22.7 miles for the month, which put me at 1,266.5 miles for the year. Let's focus in on these monthly miles of 22.7. It is only 4 days into the month. We got a good chunk of miles already done, complete. Every single month I challenge myself to do a 100-mile challenge. I do it in honor of a charity in which I raise money. I donate money, and I also raise money in awareness for that charity throughout that month by starting a coinciding fundraiser. So for the first 9 months of the year, we were able to raise money for 9 great charities. Now we're here in the 10th month, raising money for another great charity. October's 100-mile challenge this month is in honor of Michigan Humane. They work with stray animals within Michigan and try to get them, reestablished in good homes. So a lot of stray animals end up in these places, and they try to help them get placed into good homes with good families. So if you'd like to donate to this month's fundraiser, you can find the link to do so on the Defining Discipline Instagram or Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram or Facebook story. Within that, you just click on the link. It'll open up the Facebook page where you're able to make your donations. All donations that get made to this cause and this fundraiser go directly to it. Facebook is not taking any cuts or any percentage of your donations. It all goes directly to this cause this month. I do know times are tough. Not everyone can afford to donate. I get that if that is the case, but you'd still like to truly help out. The next best thing you do, just click share on that fundraiser. Try to put it on your page, put it on your story. Get as many eyes on it as possible, and ask other people as well to share it. Because again, we are trying as much as possible to truly just raise as much awareness for this cause and to raise money for it. And a good way to raise money for it is to get as many eyes on it as possible, as well as to raise awareness. So other than that, we've kind of talked about we talked mileage, we talked the fundraiser for the month. Let's quickly talk about today's word of the day by Merriam-Webster, and that is mettle. Mettle, which is a good word, so I'm already going to screenshot it just to remember. Mettle refers to the ability to continue in spite of difficulties. That is the word of the day, metal. So that is a good word of the day, but now we're going to get actually um, into today's episode, which is 277. And for today's episode, today's theme is going to be preserve. And we kind of discussed why it is going to be preserve. In moments in life, sometimes things come up where you need to preserve your energy or preserve possibly your food or whatever the case may be. Throughout history and throughout our lives, there are going to be times when we got to truly save things and preserve things for the right time to use them. And that is what I'm currently doing right now. I'm trying to still keep a decent mileage up, but I'm slowing down. I'm not trying to go too fast. I'm not trying to burn myself out. I'm trying to really preserve my body for this race that is coming up within 13 days. And it's kind of hard, getting out there. I truly, even today getting out there, I wanted to just go, at it. And I wanted to even go longer than the 3 miles. And every day I know it's going to be hard for me to, especially next week when I go to cut myself down to only 1.5 days. It's going to be hard to get through that week, especially knowing too. I guess it might be a little bit easier knowing that I'm going to have a really big race up within the end of the week that's going to make up for those miles. But when you're going through the week and you're expecting so many miles and you're just adding them up day by day and you see you only have this many days left, and it just, it's hard to put in little miles. It's hard to truly preserve when you want to just get out there and really work hard. But that is something that I'm really trying to focus on this week. Again, I'm trying to really preserve my body and preserve my mileage to get ready for this race. So getting ready for it by really slowing down and trying to also focus on mentally get prepared for it, and to kind of preserve my mind as well for that. But again, as we talked about yesterday, with me also preserving my body that way, it kind of gives me a lot of more free time to try to focus on getting some stuff done around here, some other stuff that isn't dealing with running, that needs to be attended to. But only can do that by taking away some time that's going to help me preserve my body and for this race. So that is the main thing I wanted to talk about today. Is sometimes in life you're going to have those races, and the best thing to do is to try to figure out how to preserve your energy, to stretch it out enough so when the time comes to use it when you most need it. And again, right now I'm giving the example of this race, but even throughout this year, every single day it's about preserving. I've challenged myself to run 365 days in a row. You don't do that by not figuring out a solution of preserving your body and seeing how much effort you're going to put in. Even me going out and putting in this 26-mile race coming up, the marathon, I'm going to still have to try to preserve myself within that marathon. I have a set goal I'd like to get really, really fast, but I know if I go too fast and burn myself out, I may not recover enough to actually run the following day. This isn't a race up, or this isn't, just a run every day up to the race, and then after the race, you're done. I ran a 31-mile race earlier this year, and the following day I got out there and I put in, I don't know if it was 1.5 miles or a mile, but I put in, I put in a run, and it wasn't the fastest run, but it definitely wasn't a slow run, and it was actually a run. It hurt like hell, but I got through it. I didn't get injured again because I took my time and tried to not to overdo it the next day. But it's all about preserving myself enough to continue on the following day, as well as preserving my body now again for the actual race. So throughout this year, it's really trying to disperse and preserve my energy for the correct times and correct places, is something that I've been really truly working on, and right now is a great test to go through because we are on the cusp of the race, and a little anxious, but we're gonna get it done. And the thing I'm kind of a little bit anxious about is I still haven't got my fueling down. I haven't been practicing my fueling enough, so that is something that's a little bit still up in the air, and I still am a little bit questionable about what I'm going to take with me that day for fueling. But we will see. We will find out. Real excited. And again, we are right now starting the actual preserve stage of this race, which is just kind of taking it easy, starting to really slow back the weekly mileage this week. Next week, really killing the mileage because at the end of the week, next week, we have three races: a mile race, a 5K, which is a 3.1 mile race, and a marathon, which is a 26.2 mile race. So I got to definitely preserve my body these next couple weeks for these races, and then still within those races preserve my body in order to continue on running every single day to finish out this year strong. So that is the goal. That is the episode talking about preserving. And for your daily discipline today, it is to do the exact same. It is to realize that every day is going to be a battle. To give enough of yourself to get through that battle, but to also preserve enough energy to continue on the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day. And especially when you know there's going to be a big battle coming up within your life. Maybe you have something coming up like me that you know is going to take a lot of energy. Well, to truly, throughout the buildup of that, is to truly try to preserve yourself and as much energy as you possibly can for that. So your daily discipline for the day today is to really focus in on how to preserve yourself in the situation you're in currently and within the future. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you so much for following along and listening. 277 episodes in a row. It has been a great journey. If you guys can, please give the podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, a share on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you've been following along and listening on. Please leave a review, leave a comment, reach out if you'd like to. That's also would be awesome, guys. Whatever you guys can do, that is great. Make sure you guys get out there, work hard. Let's try to work on ourselves on an individual basis. Let's truly try to make this world a better place by making ourselves better versions of ourselves. That is kind of the message of the podcast. Like I said, this is episode 277. I'm your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. I'll see you guys tomorrow for episode 288. And until then, like I said, make sure you guys get your daily discipline done. Stay disciplined. And peace out. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.